Greetings everyone, I'm going to talk about the KFC crisis, a lesson in relational risk management. I'm going to start off with a short summary. The KFC crisis is what came with the separation from their old supply chain partner to a newer one. The article talks all about the transition, danger, risk, and very tedious business models created to evaluate every aspect of the transition. It's said in the title that the crisis is questioned as a lesson for relational risk management because of how every aspect of the transition was there to test both sides of the partnership and how they can affect the entire market. It also talks about an organization that are reviewing both parties and their collaborative relationships in which they can evaluate each aspect that can affect and be affected once the procurement undergoes. The relationship with the supply chain is also evaluated. The relationship with the supply chain is also evaluated and planned in which they can create a better value of their partnership and for their end customer. With the crisis, they also took into consideration of the cost and value. They create a platform in which they can balance out cost and value for the end customer and the business. These of course means that it should all be balanced wherein they won't be overserving the end customers, getting the right value of their money, while also not letting the business to win a lot over the other. It also says here the lack of awareness to what comes in for the cost to serve and services the establishment undergoes for the operation. At the end of the article, it talks about the relationship of each supply chain to another, in which it was stated it wasn't always a competition, but is always dependent on their collaboration to the other supply chains. Now, for the question which of learning from the past discussed in this action insight have future implications. For me, the learning would of course be carried out by the changes when it underwent the transition. There are several implications that can be affected by this transition. For example, there can be supply problems when a specific problem arose. There may be a contrast between the first supply chain that may be a problem in the future. For the second question, what action could be taken from utilizing this knowledge by you personally or by an organization? The action we can learn from what happened with the KFC crisis is with how they prepared and handled the transition. We can see them going the extra steps of having a fail-proof transition in which we can justify the entire effort that they've devoted into it. They also created a task organization that was meant to handle all the aspects and changes that may occur once the transition is going and is finished. This meant all the steps that they underwent was enough to justify the efforts that we can use by personally or by the organization once we encounter these kinds of problems. Thank you.